Welcome to summer in Melbourne. I have a very important day outside of the house. I need to run around everywhere. I gotta do stuff for my passport for the tour. I got a massive doctor's appointment for my ears. It's day 2 of the 100 swim challenge. There's no excuses, I have to do it. So, welcome to the vlog. We're gonna get out in the rain. We're gonna go to Frankston. I don't know what's gonna be scarier, the rain, the crackheads, or the doctor's appointment, which I'll tell you about later. But yeah, we're gonna go right now. It's thundering. Gee, I hope the metal in my skull doesn't attract lightning. But yeah, okay, it's summer. If you're not from Australia, or if you're not from Melbourne, this is what summer in Melbourne is like. Dude, look at this. I don't know if you can even hear me. I'm yelling. This is crazy. I think my backyard's gonna flood, man. Look, it's everywhere. It's crazy. No wonder. This is why my deck is rotted. Yeah, this is nuts, man. Look at the sky as well. I don't think it's going to be ending anytime soon. But, you know, what perfect weather to go for a swim. At least this time I'm not going to get sunburned. I don't know, I'm freaking out. We're going to get out there, we're going to get after it, and we're going to have a good day, all right? I'll see you in Frankston. All right, we made it. We're here in Frankston. It's rainy. I can't really film too much unless we're undercover because this is not a waterproof camera. However, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get some coffee. I'm gonna do some riding and then we'll wander around a little bit more. I got a doctor's appointment. Dude, let me tell you about the doctor's appointment. It's pretty nuts, man. Like, what I have to do, my ears get clogged all the time. All the time. They get real bad. And I've done the doctor thing of like getting them flushed out at a doctor's office, and I've tried ear drops, I've tried this, I've tried that, and none of it works. The only thing that does work is getting them vacuumed. That's it. So that's what we're doing. And how you do it, it's rough, man. What they do is they get like a needle that's attached to a tiny little vacuum, and they just put it in your ear and they suck everything out. And it's pretty uncomfortable, but man, the feeling afterwards is like nothing you've ever experienced. I remember the first time I did it, I used to be so deaf. I couldn't hear anything. I went and I did this vacuuming thing, and dude, I left the office. I think I was maybe 23, 24 when it happened. I left the office and I was like, oh my God, I had no idea that the wind made noise when it went through the trees. It's like my hearing was so bad, my brain was turning everything up, and then all of a sudden my ears were unblocked and I could hear again. It's crazy, dude. I was like, what? I got home and I was like, man, my fridge is so noisy. And someone turned the volume down on the fridge. So there's a little cafe that I just walked past. We're gonna go in there. Bro, look at this. Look at this. The Frankston Mall of Fame. Am I on this? Frankston City is home to many inspiring people who have excelled in their chosen field. From sports to science, medicine to entertainment, their contributions continue to make the world a better place. Surely I'm on here with all of my, surely I'm more famous than, who do we have here? We've got, what's this guy's name? Harry Ragg. Digital network technology, setting standards for all telecommunication networks. Okay, well that's pretty good. Harry was made a member of the Order of Australia in 1989. Okay, well, look, maybe I'm not anywhere close to being as impactful as old Harry, but you know, I've told a few dick jokes before. Surely that's enough to get me on the QR code. Maybe not a stone in the ground, but at least on the website, you know? All right, We're here at the cafe, let's go in. We got coffee, but I can't sit there, man. They're playing music. Do we have to play music everywhere? I think is a pretty reasonable question. Don't you think? Why is it playing everywhere? You know what I mean? I was at that outdoor pool last episode. Outdoors. They're playing music. What are they playing music outdoors on speakers for? It's a lap pool. Okay, it's not a nightclub. What are they playing music at the gym for? I don't understand. Do they need to do that? I don't think so. You know, I feel like half the reason why people wear headphones to the gym is just to drown out the awful music that they play. I'm sick of it. I don't want to listen to music. You know, I want to listen to my music sometimes. I'm sick of my own music because all I do is listen to music every time I go to the gym to drown out their music, so I play mine too loud. And then if I play it at a comfortable level, I get a weird mix of their music and my music. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. It sucks. Now, because we can't go and write because they're playing music there, we might go to the library, but before that, I just remembered I got to renew my passport. So we got to get passport photos taken because I got my tour coming up, and I want to get to the UK this year. Little goal of mine. I don't know if it's going to happen.
These days.
Dude, how's all the security at Frankston? It's so good. I don't know if you guys saw those people, but it's like they're trying to make it nice and safe, so there's just security fucking everywhere now. You know? Frankston's days of being that scary place where you're probably going to get bashed are beginning to end. It's not fully over. It's not fully over. It's very brave of me to be walking around with a camera, but it is it is beginning to end. So yeah, I think the Australia Post here lets you do passport photos and maybe even the passport photo application itself. So I'm gonna do that now, and hopefully that'll get us over to the UK when we need to. I was talking to a comedy club, you know, because I just thought people have been asking me to come to the UK for so long, and obviously COVID and all that gets in the way, but it's also been me. It's also been like, oh, well, you know, UK's like a really big deal. I want to do it properly. I want to make sure that when I do it, it's like a big momentous thing, and maybe I need to find a tour management company and all this kind of stuff. And then I just thought, well, fuck it. I've organised all my Australian tours. How hard can a tour in a different country actually be? I messaged a comedy club. They got back to me and they're like, yeah, sweet, let's do it. Let me know if you want to do any other cities. We know a bunch of clubs, so I'm just going to do that. Message a bunch of clubs there. Because that's the thing about shows in these countries, man, that aren't Australia. They have clubs. They have an actual industry. We don't have lots of clubs in this country. We have one in Melbourne. We got one in all the major cities. And that's kind of it. Whereas UK, their population is so much bigger. They might have 10 clubs, you know, in the same radius of each other. So it's actually a lot easier than organising a tour in Australia, because if you want to do a big tour in Australia, like I'm currently organising, you got to do a mix of theatres and pubs and clubs and community centres and all these places who have never had comedy before. You want to do it in the UK or the States, you just message actual comedy clubs that, you know, some of them have 600 seats, some of them have 100 seats, and it depends what you can sell. Right, so obviously my first tour to the UK, it's going to be a small one. So I'm like, I used to think, oh man, finding a 100, 200 seater club in the UK is going to be difficult. No, it's not. That's easy as fuck. I think I actually walked past the Australia Post. I was on a tangent. All right, there it is. Okay, I'm going to go in, get this passport sorted. We'll check in a second. We got it sorted. Dude, have you ever walked into an Australia Post and been met with a smile, or is every time you go there you're just served by just one of the rudest people on planet Earth? I don't know what it is about the training that they receive there, but it seems like they are explicitly instructed to try and ruin your day. You know, it seems to be that's all that they do. That's what they're trained to do, is just to really, you know, greet you with a scowl and treat you like you're the problem for coming in and trying to use their services. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but every single Australia Post I've ever been to across the country are full of the most mean-spirited people that you'll ever meet in your fucking life. How's this? So I got my passport photos taken, and I'll tell you one thing. I'm looking handsome. Is that my address on it? No, no, it doesn't. I'll tell you what, look at this bloke. That's a handsome fella. See him? That's maybe the best looking photos I've ever had taken for an ID. That's incredible. I'm stoked with that. How's this? The woman that served me was about 5'2", right? So I'm 6'8", I'm very tall. So when I get in there to do the photos, they've got their white background you need to be in front of, and it's just not high enough, you know? And I have this problem at home. My green screen that I use for Real Talk, I would love to stand in Real Talk, but it doesn't come high enough. So I have to sit. Same thing for this, but it's a passport photo. So she brings the camera around, she's standing up, I'm standing up, she's 5'2", and I'm taller than the white background. I had to get on my fucking knees. You can't tell in those photos, but I am on my knees, you know, like this on my fucking knees, getting some mean woman to take photos of me. Some people would be into that. Some people would pay extra. Bro, it's so expensive to get your passport done. That cost me fucking $600. Man, I cannot afford that right now. So yeah, what we're gonna do now, got my coffee, I've done my passport stuff. I'm gonna have a little look at and see what else we need to do. So I've written it down. So we've got, did the passport, we've got the doctor's appointment at 6:40 p.m. Right now, I forgot my watch, that's annoying. Right now, what is the time? It's 1:30. I'm trying to debate on whether I want to go swim before or after the appointment, because I'm in two minds about it, right? When I swam in the last episode, day 1 of 100, my ears kept getting blocked, both of them, right? So my logic here is I swim beforehand, but then that kind of ruins my day in the middle of the day because I want to be riding, right? The pool's open late, so I can swim afterwards. But what I don't want to happen is to completely get my ears sucked out, be walking in with very open and accepting ears, you know, fully lubed up, completely just foreplayed to the max, ready to accept a bunch of chlorinated water into my brain. You know, I feel like if I get my ears completely vacuumed and emptied and then I jump in a pool, the level of water in the pool is going to go down because it's going to get sucked into my head. But I also feel like that's not what's going to happen. That's a little bit unrealistic. I don't know if ears work like that. So I think one thing's for sure, I'm going to go to the library now and I'm going to write. If you've never written at the library or worked at the library, dude, it's so good. If you work at home or if you need to do something on the weekend and you just get distracted whenever you're at home, dude, go to the library, wherever you are. It's good. It's quiet. Everyone else is quiet. Everyone else is doing work. It kind of makes you feel like you're slacking off if you're not doing anything, you know? You get there, you sit down, you're surrounded by books. It's relaxing. It's productive. It's good. I do it all the time. I come here at least once a week and I just write or I research. Because you also feel like a piece of shit if you're just sitting in there on your phone or on YouTube or whatever. It's like going to the library to look at YouTube videos or scroll on TikTok. That's for homeless people who don't have a Wi-Fi router, you know? That's real homeless activities, and that's not you, and that's not me. We go to the library and we write dick jokes. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that for at least a little bit, at least. And then we'll think about, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? I've just decided. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write, and if I get stuck, if I experience some writer's block, then we'll go to the pool and we'll swim. But if I get on a roll and I just start smashing out scripts for Real Talks, I'll just write until the doctor's appointment. Although that's about 5 hours away, so I reckon we'll probably break it up. I don't know about you, but I find that I've got about 4 hours max in me. If I'm writing, if I'm editing, if I'm doing admin, if I'm doing like other repetitive tasks for my job, you can do a lot longer than that because it doesn't really require too much creativity. But if I'm writing jokes, if I'm writing videos, I've got max 4 hours. You know, like I could talk like this, walking around for a few hours, but if I have to come up with a unique idea and refine it and make it better, 4 hours is the absolute maximum that I can do in a stretch without really needing to stop for the day. You know, and I think that's actually pretty realistic for anyone. I feel like, man, I feel like everyone's job, if you really look at what you did in the day, whether you work for yourself or somebody else, you know, you're there for 8 hours. You worked for 4. You know what I mean? You worked for 4 hours, but you get paid for 8. You don't tell your boss that. You go, oh yeah, had a really productive day. But if you really took out all of the waffling on with co-workers, all of the sitting there doing fuck all of the typing on the keyboard to look busy, but you're not actually, you worked for 4 hours. You know? And that's fine. You know, that's why that four-day work week thing, I think it's probably a good idea. I think it's right. But you also know, right, that they change it to the 4-day work week and then everyone's gonna go, no, I reckon it's 3. I reckon we should work even less. I don't know if anyone will be interested in this, but I suppose I could come back to Frankston at some point and do a little tour. I mean, it's kind of what we're doing now, but it's a little bit less guided. This is less of a tour and more of a just, you know, an admin day for me. But you're fucking kidding. Is the library closed? I'm gonna snap. Yeah, they're renovating it. All right. Well, looks like we're swimming after all. Universe has given me a sign. Get in the pool. Dude, you know how last episode, right, I was talking about whether or not sunscreen is effective or whether or not it's bad for you? And I know that it is, but I just had the ultimate evidence, you know, that it is good for you because I didn't put it on properly. And going back when I was editing it, I watched me put it on. I think I was just like, oh, I don't want this to be boring, so I'm gonna be quick with the sunscreen. Never again, all right? If it's gonna be boring, I'll just stop filming. You probably don't even wanna watch me put on sunscreen. But I missed like a giant patch on my back, and you would have seen on my Instagram, I just got so sunburned. That's why I'm going to an indoor pool today. We're going to park, which is indoor. And man, my back is itchy, it's red. We've been putting aloe vera on it like morning and night. And that's the secret, man. If you get real bad sunburn, aloe vera cream fixes it up immediately. I reckon I would be really peeling, I'd be in pain, but it's all right because I've been using aloe vera and moisturizer. You put the aloe on, you wait 10 minutes, you put a shitload of moisturizer on, you do that twice a day, your sunburn's gonna be fine. And now I'm just in that annoying, itchy all the time phase. Man, I haven't gotten that burn for like a decade. Not good. It's in this weird shape as well. But yeah, that confirms it to all of you sunscreen deniers out there. It's very important, at least here in Australia. I don't know about America, you know, because I keep hearing a lot about how you should not be putting sunscreen on. But man, I was in the pool for 30 minutes, water over the top of my back, moving, and I got burned to hell. So, and it was not even that sunny. You go back and you look at the vlog, it wasn't that sunny. So, at least here in Australia, we use our sunscreen. God, I'm so itchy. So, what I'm gonna do is I ate before I came here. I'm gonna have this coffee, then we're gonna do a quick kilometer in the pool, because everything's closed. Man, how's that? Both episodes, I had a plan, tried to get there and it's closed. That's annoying. But also, it makes the vlog more interesting for you guys, I assume. You know? If I had a perfect day, it might be a boring vlog. Oh, funny story. Before, couldn't talk about it, but before, there was this dude, shirtless, probably homeless guy. And I'm talking to the camera, and he's like, "Don't fucking film me," like real quiet. Dude thought I was filming him. That's, you know, that is the danger of vlogging in Frankston, because there's two types of guys like that around here. There's the sleepy, quiet ones, you know, and then there's the impulsive, loud ones. And that was a sleepy, quiet one, and they're kind of cute in a way, you know. Oh, look at him on his little park bench, in a ball, having a smoke, moving in slow motion. That's cute. But the rapid, scary ones, they're a little bit different. You know, they're like kind of a bit more like Ezra Miller. All right, I'm feeling the sun pounding my solar panel forehead, so I'm gonna go move again and sit in the shade, smash this coffee, and then I'll see you at the pool. Well, outside the pool. You can't film at the pool. I'm not gonna be that guy. How's this, right? Almost at the pool. Before we go in, I talked last episode about I want a bike. So I go into this bike store just to kind of sit on a few bikes, and they got heaps. They got dozens. And go in, and I go, the guy's a real friendly guy. He's like, "Hey man, how can I help you?" I'm like, "I don't know if you can." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know if I can either, actually. You want to know what size bike you need?" I'm like, "Yeah man, that's what I want." Anyway, he puts me on about 20 different bikes, and I'm too big for all of them. He had an extra large there, too big. So he goes, "Look mate, I don't even know where to send you." So I don't know, I'm either gonna have to get one online, which I really don't want to do because they're expensive, or figure something else out. But I don't know, we'll see. I tried to, or I get an extra large bike, which was like a little bit too small, but I don't know. I'm not going to be riding cross country. It's going to be for like 10-20 minute trips here and there. I'll think about it. I'll have a look online, see if I can find any big bikes. But if I can't, I can't. All right, we're at the pool. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do a kilometer. Swim number 2 of the year. 2 of 100. See you in a sec. And we're done. Another kilometer. That's swim 2 of 100 for the year. So good progress, man. We're right on track. The first week of the year is halfway done. We've already done 2 swims. If I do another one this week, bang. My time was, I did it in, I don't know, I had to estimate because my Apple Watch, I forgot to bring it, which is so annoying. But what I did was I set a timer on my phone, and then I fucked around and I got in the pool, and then I started and I looked at the clock as well, and then by the time I finished it was like 28 minutes, and then I took off 2 minutes because it kind of took me 2 minutes to get in and out, and then that worked out to be 26, which is really fast. So it makes me think that either I counted wrong, I took too many minutes off, or when I was swimming I didn't count every set, you know, like I thought I did all of it, but I missed one. But then again, it's pretty similar to my time, my other really quick time when I was in a 20-meter pool, and this was 25. So I actually do think that I did that. But we'll know next swim. Like next time I do a swim in a 25-meter, if I got the Apple Watch on, we'll know exactly how accurate that is. How dodgy is this part of Frankston? Frankston's becoming nice, but there still are a couple of streets that are just completely dead, covered in graffiti, no businesses are alive. This is the part of Frankston that's kind of changing. Like all these stores are empty, there's nothing in them, and a lot of them are like, honestly, they're legal services. They're legal services, they're social services, and these things are closing down like that. And also payday loans. Payday loan services you see everywhere around here. You know, sell gold, sell stolen technology. this laundromat is kind of the only thing that's open on this street. And then like a psychologist over there, and then a job finding service. Those are all over Frankston because, you know, there's a lot of people who need help around here. There's a lot of people who need access to those resources. There's a free legal services in that alley down there. A beauty place that just shut down over there. I think this was like a WeWork, like a communal working space over here. I don't know why you would open one of those in Frankston. People don't have jobs to do there. But anyway, I'm coming out of the destitute lane, and then this is kind of like the nicer part of Frankston, or the gentrified part. Up there is the cinema, a grilled burger, tattoo joint, a few restaurants as well. But the reason why we're here is because there's a little Warhammer store that I'm going to go to, because, you know, if you watch my podcast about my goals, big resolution for me is to get back into that hobby because I love it so much. I love painting them. I love reading about them. I really want to play the games. I haven't played the game since I was about 12, 13. And I love it, man. I'm such a nerd, and I always have been. And it's also just good to have a hobby and a skill that's away from screens. But that's not really what this episode's about. In a couple of days, I'm going to set up my hobby room in my house. You know, have like an analog desk that no technology is ever allowed to touch. And that's going to be where I do all of my hobby stuff. So I'm going into the Warhammer store. I'm going to grab a little magazine if it's out yet, because they come out every January. And yeah, we'll talk more about that in another episode. That's not really what this one is about. All right, we got what we came for. I just got a message on my phone. I checked my phone while I was swimming. Got some shit news. So walking down this alleyway, I need to look at it properly and figure out what I'm going to do. Here's the story. So Rory Lowe, another comedian, good friend of mine, great bloke, he's organising a venue. Oh, here we go. I'll just chuck him on top of this filing cabinet here in an alley. Where's the sun? It's over there. All right, we're not going to do that. I want you to be able to see me. Where can we put it? Here we go. All right, we'll sit here in the alley and have a talk. This is real Frankston, isn't it? So annoying, right? Rory Lowe is running the venue for my Perth shows in January. I was doing a bunch of them. I was doing like 12, 14 shows. It's in January, starts January 19, so it's like really soon. Anyway, he just messages me, and apparently the venue's fucked everybody around, and we have to cancel all of the Sunday shows, which is so annoying. I mean, I think that's like 3 of my shows have to get cancelled because the venue said yes to something that they couldn't provide, and that fucks me so much because Sundays actually usually sell pretty well. How many Sundays do I have? I've got 1, 2. Oh, it's only 2. I thought I had 3. All right, well, that's not that bad. Okay. All right, that's manageable. I guess I can do that. It's just annoying because, man, so lucky I found out today. I was going to go home tonight and book the accommodation. I just would have wasted a lot of money staying days I didn't have to. It is a little bit annoying, but I guess also that at least gives me one Sunday in the middle of the run that I can take off to promote shows. And basically the option that Rory gave me, and it's not his fault at all, he said that I can add some Monday shows. But fuck, man, no one's coming out on a Monday, are they? You don't want to see a show on a Monday. But then I guess, you know, if the answer is, the option is to sell no tickets or sell 15, you might as well take the 15 if you're flying there anyway. So, yeah, maybe I add some Monday shows. I'm going to have to think about it. But tickets are on sale now. You'll be able to check the website and see if I've made my decision or not. I think, you know what? We'll just roll with the punches. I'm going there anyway. I have to spend the money anyway. Adding Monday shows, you know, if I sell 7 tickets, that's 7 tickets that I wasn't going to sell otherwise. So If we're cancelling shows, that sucks, but what would suck even more than cancelling the shows is not replacing them, even if they're not optimal. So that's a little bit annoying, but that's all right. Improvise, adapt, overcome. That's what we'll do. All right. Now, what's the time? Because my ear suck appointment is not till 6:40. It's 10 past 5. You know what? I'm so glad that I went swimming before the ear suck appointment, because my right ear, which is not even the problem ear, is currently playing up. It keeps blocking. So I feel like it was a good idea to go swimming beforehand, because any chlorinated water I got in there is going to get sucked right out. So I think what we'll do, the library's closed. I've got like almost 2 hours to kill. I reckon we'll go to the beach, sit there, and I'll just do some writing. I wanted to write on my laptop, but I'm not going to pull that out at the ocean. I've got a notepad with me. I'll be able to write real talk in my notepad. It'll be a good little exercise for me anyway, an experiment. I've never written like a full script to a video with pen and paper before, so it's a good opportunity to try it out now that I have to. It might feel a lot better than writing it on the laptop. I heard a writer talking about how the idea that writing on a computer, writing on a laptop, that's for editing work that's almost finished. That's for finalizing stuff. It's not for creating from scratch. So there might be some truth to that. We'll find out anyway. We'll get to the beach and we'll set up somewhere and we'll do some writing. I feel like, you know, this is the part of Frankston that people don't see. You know, just how you have the ability to just, you know, walk around and get whatever you want that you need in your life. Like whether it's food or fitness or leisure or, you know, magazines for the nerdy little hobby that you're into. It, you know, it really does have it all, as cliche as it is to say. It's true. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to live. It hasn't always been. And you do need to be a little bit street smart, but it's not that bad. Especially if you're out during the day, you know, just don't look at the crackies and you're all right. And, you know, some of them are all right even when you do look at them. The swim felt good, man. I think, weirdly, not having the Apple Watch made me faster, because instead of relying on the watch to tell me where I'm at, because it counts your laps for you, instead of doing that, I counted it myself. And it was good, man, because, you know, when you're counting it yourself, when you're doing any kind of fitness activity, there's all sorts of mind games that you can play on yourself. You know, you really can manipulate yourself. It's how, you know, like, if you don't believe me, look at people who are in cults, you know, despite the copious amount of evidence that tells them that they're in a cult. They can brainwash themselves just as much as, you know, the cult leader does. It almost, unless you get into it as a child, if you're an adult, man, it almost requires your consent to continue to happen to a certain extent. Anyway, of course there are exceptions, but anyway, when I was swimming, I was like, okay, I need to do a kilometer as quickly as I can. So it's a 25-meter pool, so I did the math. What is a kilometer? That's 40 up and down. And I thought, my brain immediately goes, oh, 40, that's a big number. I don't want to do 40. That's huge. That's insurmountable. So instead I halved it. It's like, okay, well, you know, it's 40 there, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you count up and back as 1, all of a sudden you don't need to do 40, you only need to do 20. So it's like, okay, cool, I only have to do 20 laps. Before I had to do 40, now it's half the amount. That's twice as easy. Even though it's the same amount, it's like those tricks you can play in your head. And even then, right, after you start doing it, I found myself going, okay, well, you know, 20 is a pretty big number. Fuck that, I just have to do 10. You know, I'll do 10, And then we'll see where we're at, how we're feeling. So I just did 10 as quickly as I could. And I can't do 10 in a row yet. I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to get up to a point where I can do the full kilometer without having to rest. Because at the moment I can do, I don't know, I can do like 100 meters in a row without stopping, like up and back, but I have to take a breather. Maybe 150 is kind of where I max out. But then after that 150, I can't do another 150. Then I kind of max out at like hundreds. I can do another 100 without stopping, and then I can do 50 without stopping. And then towards the end of it, I struggle to do 25, right, without having a breather at the end of the 25. But what I was saying is, you know, instead of swimming a kilometer, which is a huge amount, I'm just doing 20 laps. And then instead of doing 20 laps, I'm actually just doing 10. And while I'm trying to do those 10, I'm like, okay, all I need to do is go up and back. I'm not doing 100 meters. I'm not doing 50 meters. I'm just going up and back. And the first time I do it, I'm going to go up and back 4 times. And that's 100. And then I you know, I did it 4. I'm like, oh, I feel all right. Let's do 2 more. And then I've done 6. And then my brain's like, fuck, I'm over halfway to 10. So let's just keep going. And then when I got to the 10, instead of being like, okay, now we need to get to 20, I was like, well, I don't need to get to 20. I just need to count down to 0. And for some reason, man, going from 10 to 0 feels so much easier and so much more rewarding than going from 10 to 20. And it's all mind games that you play with yourself, but so much of life is that, you know, like I could look at my planner, for example, right? Or my goals that I wrote, my goals for the year that I wrote, right? If I have a look at one of these goals, you know, like I want to read 30 books. That's huge. That's a huge amount of books. But not really. If I read an hour a day, if you break it down to that, I'll probably accidentally do more than 30 if I read 1 hour every single day. And an hour a day, you know, you might be thinking, fuck, an hour a day. Have a look at your screen time. How much time do you spend on your phone a day? All right, take one of those hours away and put it into a book. You have the time. Okay, if you say you don't have the time, you're lying. And if you're telling the truth, you need to slow down. Or you're incredibly disabled, right? But even then, that hour a day, if you think, oh man, that's so much. It's not. That's 20 minutes in the morning, you know, 10 minutes in the middle of the day, and then 30 minutes at night. That's so easy. Or you could break it down to pages. You know, I want to read 10 pages a day. If you read 10 pages a day, which is nothing, even a slow reader or a beginner reader, that's super easy to do. 10 pages a day, I believe that kind of works out to about 10, 12 books, the average book size, if you're not reading monster books, you know? And the same is true of like, oh, I want to hit this many subscribers. It's like, that's, you know, I want to hit like 600,000-700,000 subscribers, I think I wrote down. That's impossible, right? But if I look at that goal and I go, how do I get there? Well, that's about 1-2 videos a week. That's all I have to do. And then I look at my week and I go, I need to make 1 or 2 videos a week. Same is true of this vlog. You know, I didn't go out to film a vlog. You know, this is a normal day that I had planned. I planned out my week on Sunday, and I wrote at the top of 2 days that looked the most interesting, you know, where I was doing the most things. And I just wrote at the top of that, vlog this day. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just vlogging. And, you know, what, you know, on paper looks like a list of errands and chores, I think has turned out to be a pretty interesting episode of this. And even if it's not interesting, I'm getting heaps out of it because it's like helping me build the confidence to do this in public. Because as you know, I mean, this is kind of how I blew up. I've done so many things in public, like the vaccine video, the Marxism video, a bunch of like news media stunts and all this type of stuff that requires you to go out into the world and film and have that confidence. And if I'm honest with you, I hate doing them. I love coming up with the idea. I love editing the video. I love planning the news hoax or the stunt or the questions I'm going to ask people in public, and I love planning out, like, I'm going to say this, and if they'll probably either say this or that. If they say this, I'll say that. If they say that, I'll say this. I love all of that stuff, planning it out, editing it, posting it, stoking the flames. Fuck, I hate filming them. I don't like filming them. Because it's nerve-wracking, you know? It's like, it's confrontation, it's in public, people are looking at you, it's nerve-wracking, you know? And I'm a guy who can get on stage in front of, I think the biggest crowd I've done is like 1,000 people, maybe. No, 500 or 600. 500 is the biggest I've done. But I did that twice. That's where I'm getting that number from. 500 people. I've done that heaps of times in a row, 500 people. And I wasn't nervous at all. I was excited, you know. But for some reason, the less people, the more nerve-wracking it is to me, you know. Like performing in front of 100 people is so much easier than performing in front of 7 people. But even then, when I've done open mics all the time, and I will do more this year that will have like less than 15 people in them, and it doesn't scare me at all. It's this, you know. You'll probably notice I'm a lot more confident talking in front of the camera now like this because no one can hear me. I'm alone. But fuck, man, put me in the street and I'm like, oh, I bought a magazine. So, you know, this vlog experiment, like doing these often and doing them in public and making them longer so that I have to talk more, I think it will provide value to you, and I think it will be a good thing to watch and enjoy. But I also think for me, it's going to make me a lot more resilient to doing things in public, because man, if I can walk around like a dickhead with a camera in my hand in public while crackheads are staring at me, I can, you know, do a vox pop with a microphone in the street when something happens. So anyway, I need to write down my swim in my 100 section of my notebook. If you missed last episode, I'm swimming 100 times this year, and I'm tracking it in my little notepad. I'm writing down the speed at which I did it and where I swam, and we're going to see, you know, how I improved throughout the year. If I can find the page, where is it? Oh, there it is. I found it. I almost turned the camera off. I was like, I'll find that and I'll turn it back on. But here it is. All right. So Jan 1, so Jan 1 was 1 kilometer in 30 minutes. Jan 3 is 1 km in 26. And we did it at Park. Tick. Bang. That's pretty good. That's 4 minutes quicker. But also, it was kind of an estimate. It did feel a lot faster. I think it was definitely faster than 30 minutes. But the 30 minutes was in a 50-meter pool. The 26 minutes was in a 25-meter. And like I was saying the other day, those smaller pools are so much easier to be faster in because a lot of it is pushing off the wall. The more times you push off the wall, the faster you are and the less tired you are, because you get more frequent breaks and less swimming time. But I also can feel myself getting fitter as I do it. So I'm gonna try and write some real talks on the beach here. I hope I don't get sunburned. It's kind of not sunny, but also the UV rating is extreme according to the board. So I may have learned nothing, but we'll find out tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna figure out what I want to write, and yeah, I guess I'll check back in when we get the ear suck. I hope he lets me film it. We'll see. I will ask. Bro, I am burning. I'm upset. How's this? Right? My appointment at the ear suck is at 6:40. It was like 10 past 6. So I'm like, all right, let's have a look at where I need to go, because I know it was at the hospital here in Frankston. I look up the email, they sent me the confirmation, it's at a hospital in Moorabbin. So what fucking happened was I did one of these ear suck things about 5 years ago, right? And then I needed another one. I jump on their website, I sign up for it, and I put in Frankston, and then they go, oh, you already have an account with us. Log into that. I'm like, oh, well, I don't really want a fucking account with the ear suck business, but whatever. I log into that, and then it had, whatever it had done, it had saved all my preferences or whatever. I plugged it in, I logged into my account, it automatically reset my local thing to Moorabbin, didn't ask me, didn't double check it, just books me at Moorabbin. So I'm just gonna go home. Fucking, what a runaround this day is. I want to get my ear sucked. I booked it at the wrong place. I wanted to ride at the library. It's fucking being renovated until March. I wanted to go for a swim. I forgot my Apple Watch. I wanted to film a vlog. A crackhead told me off. And it made me self-conscious. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of me running around doing absolutely nothing that I actually wanted to do and then going for a swim. To be fair, I did want to do a swim. I feel good that we got to do that. All right, that's it. Talk to you in a couple days. Subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. The next one will do what we actually want to do. All right, see ya.